Hello, and welcome to the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra for today's Meet the Music presentation. My name is Daniel Corvaia, and I'm the MSO's Cybec Assistant Conductor. I'm so delighted to be walking you through the music you'll be hearing in our upcoming concert. I have the wonderful privilege of sitting in and listening to how the MSO rehearses these wonderful masterworks. I'm hoping to give you all a behind-the-scenes look into the music we're hearing and how an orchestra prepares for a concert like this. But before we go on, I'd like to introduce you to our principal guest conductor, Benjamin Northey, who will be conducting this concert. Northey started conducting at Finland's Sibelius Academy and at Stockholm's Royal College of Music. He appears regularly as a guest conductor with all major Australian symphony orchestras, and is also the chief conductor of the Christchurch Symphony Orchestra and conductor in residence of the Sydney Symphony Orchestra. I am particularly looking forward to this program as the Rite of Spring, which we are hearing, is notorious for its conducting challenges. At the concert, keep an eye out for Ben performing all sorts of conducting gymnastics, constantly shifting time signatures, irregular accents, extreme tempo changes, and complex layers of rhythm. We are all in for a real treat. So, let's paint a picture. The date is May 29th, 1913, and you're a guest at the Théâtre des Champs-Élysées in Paris. You're excited to see a new ballet at Diaghilev's Ballet Russe with the music of Stravinsky and the choreography of Nijinsky. These nights were a huge social event for the time and always memorable. The rich and famous have come to enjoy a traditional ballet and hear the new score by Igor Stravinsky. Well, the story goes like this. Boos and hisses were heard from the very first bassoon solo of the piece. The curtain opens and Stravinsky's violent and pounding music begins. The night turns into chaos. All sorts of things are being thrown at the conductor and the orchestra. Stravinsky gets up in disgust and leaves the hall. The music is completely drowned out by the sounds of the audience. What exactly happened that night? What caused such a stir? Together, let's uncover the brilliance and controversy of Stravinsky's Rite of Spring, the piece that caused classical music's most famous riot. To understand the significance of the Rite of Spring, let's first take a look at the man behind it all, Igor Stravinsky. Stravinsky was born in Russia in 1882 and began learning piano at the age of 7. He studied composition with Russian composer Rimsky-Korsakov and completed crucial early works under his tutelage. In 1909, Stravinsky met Sergei Diaghilev, a Russian promoter of the arts and founder of the Ballet Russe. The Ballet Russe was a revolutionary ballet company based in Paris that revitalized ballet by infusing the ideals of other art forms with those of dance. The first Diaghilev-Stravinsky collaboration was The Firebird in 1910. This ballet became an instant hit, quickly launching Stravinsky to stardom and securing his position as Diaghilev's star composer. There were immediate talks of a sequel, leading to the composition of two important ballets, Petrushka and of course the Rite of Spring. Although the Rite of Spring is now performed as a standalone piece, we have to remember that it is a ballet and hence has an important narrative. The ballet is set in ancient pagan Russia, long before cities, technology, or modern religion. The people in this world believe that nature controls everything, the weather, the harvest, and their survival. Spring isn't gentle or joyful, it was powerful and dangerous. The first half of the ballet is called The Adoration of the Earth and depicts the arrival of spring. Tribes gather and there are wild dances, games, and rituals. You can hear the excitement, but at the same time unease. Something is about to happen. The second half of the ballet is called The Sacrifice. A young girl is chosen to be sacrificed to the earth so that spring will truly arrive. She dances alone, surrounded by the community, until she collapses and dies. Why don't we dive into the instrumentation of the piece? This is the instruments used by the composer. You are in for a real treat. The Hamer Hall stage will be filled with more than 100 musicians for this performance. Let's start with our woodwind section. Stravinsky calls for 1 piccolo, 3 flutes, 1 alto flute, 4 oboes, 1 cor anglais, 4 clarinets, 1 bass clarinet, 4 bassoons, and contrabassoon. In the concert, see if you can also hear the alto flute. This is a larger, lower-pitched member of the flute family. The brass section is also at full strength. 8 French horns, 5 trumpets, 3 trombones, and 2 tubas. See if you can spot that 2 of the French horns look and sound a little different. These are called Wagner tubas, named after composer Richard Wagner. Although having tuba in the name, they are associated with the horn section of the orchestra and played by horn players. The percussion includes 5 timpani, bass drum, tam-tam, triangle, tambourine, cymbals, antique cymbals, and guiro. There are some phenomenal percussion moments throughout, and their rhythmic drive are integral to what makes the Rite of Spring so thrilling. Finally, we have a larger than usual string section. This allows the string sound to carry against the other gigantic forces on stage. See if you can also spot the 2 harps. So, how exactly should we listen to a performance of the Rite of Spring? Well, here are a few quick tips and guidelines. Firstly, I want you all to sit back, relax, and enjoy watching so many talented musicians hard at work on stage, contributing to a massive overall sound. Have a listen to see what instruments feature in certain moments, and even try to imagine how a ballet dancer would move to this music. The biggest thing to take in are definitely the rhythms. In this piece, rhythm is a more prominent feature than melody. Stravinsky constantly changes time signatures and places strong accent in unexpected places. The music is deliberately unbalanced, imitating the earthy, pagan-like dances from the ballet. If you look on stage, you'll see musicians in full focus, counting their rests, counting their time signatures, and making sure not to jump in too early at any moment. Trust me, I've played the piece, and it is no walk in the park. While you may all be used to some simple and compound time signatures, Stravinsky uses a huge range of what we call irregular time signatures. These are time signatures where the beat pattern doesn't divide evenly into groups of 2 or evenly into groups of 3. In the Rite of Spring, Stravinsky uses 5/8, 7/8, 11/8, and 13/8 bars frequently. I don't know about you, but that's too much math for me today. Have a listen to this short excerpt and see if you can keep up with where the bar lines might be. It is quite tricky. In the Rite of Spring, Stravinsky stacks clashing chords on top of each other, creating harsh, dissonant sounds. He lets tension exist without trying to resolve them. Stravinsky often pushes instruments to their extremes. The way a composer combines the instruments at their disposal is called orchestration. The bassoon plays impossibly high to start the piece. The violins scratch and pound in their lower half of the bow. The brass blast jagged chords and the percussion drive the music forward, pounding out rhythms that feel unstoppable. The result is a new orchestral sound that's fierce, wild, and completely unlike anything audiences had heard before. Although upon first glance, the Rite of Spring may seem daunting to listen to, the ballet is actually set up in quite a logical and sequential manner. Short scenes transition seamlessly into each other, and the entire piece is split into 2 clear halves. Here is a quick rundown of our storyline, alongside some of its music. Part 1, The Adoration of the Earth. Introduction. Quiet, mysterious awakening of the Earth. It sets the stage for the upcoming rituals. Augurs of Spring, Dances of the Young Girls. Explosive, repeated chords. Jagged rhythms show a combination of celebration and fear. Ritual of Abduction. A young girl is being taken away by the tribe. The music is fast. Chaotic rhythms create a sense of danger, panic, and unpredictability. Spring rounds. Heavier, ritualistic dances. Groups of dancers move together in a solemn, pounding rhythm. Ritual of the Rival Tribes. Aggressive confrontation between 2 tribes. Sharp accents and fanfares. Procession of the Sage. Tense, deliberate march introducing the elder who oversees the rituals. Dance of the Earth. Frantic wild dance, the earth is fully alive, unstoppable and powerful. And that's the end of our part 1. Part 2, The Sacrifice. Introduction. Quiet, tense, dark atmosphere. Preparations for the sacrificial ritual. Mystic circles of the young girls. Girls dance repeatedly in circles. One is chosen for sacrifice. Glorification of the chosen one. The chosen girl dances alone, celebrated with frantic, intense music. Evocation of the ancestors, summoning of ancient spirits, heavy, ritualistic sounds. Ritual action of the ancestors. The elders of the tribe now dance, pushing the ritual forward with determined, relentless energy. And finally, the sacrificial dance, the chosen one, the climax of the ballet. The chosen one dances herself to death, completing the ritual. I wanted to bring our attention to the very end of the piece. There is no happy ending, no celebration, and no victory for the audience. The music doesn't tell us how to feel, it simply shows the ritual happening and then stops. I wanted to compare the Rite of Spring's ending with the ending of Stravinsky's Firebird, written just 3 years earlier. Firstly, here is the Firebird's ending. Here, we hear a victorious, triumphant ending. Evil has been defeated, peace restored. The audience leaves the whole feeling uplifted and joyful. The Rite of Spring, however, audience members are quite shocked by what has occurred, but it is powerful nonetheless. This is the joy of what we do as musicians. We perform such a variety of music, and each piece has such a diverse impact on the audience. Personally, at times I find the Rite of Spring's ending more thrilling and exciting than the comfort and triumph of the Firebird. But at other times, the Firebird's ending fills me with such optimism that I can't stop listening to it. I want you to form your own opinion after listening to the Rite of Spring. After all, this is what Stravinsky, Nijinsky, Diaghilev and the Ballet Russe set out to explore. So, I'm going to challenge you all to think about a few things when you come to visit at Hamer Hall. Firstly, how do you naturally react to this music throughout the entire work? How does it make you feel? Does your body have a natural response to hearing jarring rhythms, dissonant harmonies, and wild instrument combinations? And can you picture how a ballet dancer might move to this music? I also challenge you all to keep an eye on our conductor Benjamin Northey and see how he depicts the nature of this music and the rhythmic integrity of the piece. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you in our Hamer Hall very soon. We hope you enjoy your visit to hear the wonderful Melbourne Symphony Orchestra, our principal guest conductor Benjamin Northey, and the revolutionary masterpiece, The Rite of Spring.